Hello, welcome to another edition of Hello Africa, brought to you by Black Drum TV. I mean, right here in Lagos City, everything seems confusing this morning. I don't understand. Even me, I'm trying to pick up myself. The weather is, I don't know. I'm having two sides. Yeah, I'm having two sides. I've seen the cool weather this morning. It was all rainy and drizzling, and then now it's hot, just in a fleet of hours or minutes, I guess. But then, of course, welcome to the most amazing show you would see this morning. My name is Favor Ayab. I like to be called Favorite. With me on the show is BC Bello. BC, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Which of the weathers are you under? I don't know. Is it the hot one or the wet one?
I'm pretty sure I'm above the weather.
Both?
I'm above.
You are above both.
Above both, yes. Above
because
both
you look in your elements and you're quite reserved this morning.
Yeah, I thought to go for the calm and collected me today.
Oh, wow. Today, Friday, you want to be calm and collected?
There's a lot of wild and loud Fridays that I've had, so this particular TGIF edition, I want to be calm and collected. I'm trying my possible best to be calm.
We'll see about that by the time the show gets halfway. Okay, we have an amazing top story lineup of programs, actually. We have a top story. We have our BB Niger and entertainment update. We also have our sport update. Yep. And we have our weird facts. We also have I don't want to call it an interesting topic, but then the topic is very, very, very important. A very vital topic we'd like to also look at this morning. But straight up, we'll go to our top stories for today.
All right, so our first top story for today says EFCC chairman Abdulrasheed Bawa slumps in Abuja.
Very, very vital topic. That seems to be like the line we would go in today. That's why I think that's why your mood is like this.
Well, I'm calm and collected.
Yeah, because at this point, I don't know how and what exactly to say about the situation. Well, sadly, he passed on. We don't know what the conditions were.
What now?
He passed out initially.
Okay, he passed out. Thank God. I thought you said passed on.
Correcting myself. Passed out. But then, I think if you are going to be in a sitting like this, you should have had proper medical checkup before going up, before being on stage, or before going up the stage to make your statement. But then, aside that, what is very striking about the situation was when he had this fall, or when he slumped, at some point in the interview, while he was talking, he had a slight, I don't know, maybe headache or something, migraine,
because he had to close his eyes, try and catch his breath.
Yeah, and then suddenly he said that was it.
He excused himself.
He excused himself. Yeah, couldn't continue. And then just before he took a seat, he slumped. And then the point is, when he slumped, the kind of people who surrounded him forced me to ask the question, I mean, why are you a medic, or what exactly is your job that makes you feel that once someone passes out, you have the right
to be the first responder?
To be the first, exactly. And was it that, okay, probably the right people who were meant to attend to him were not even there at the time, because we didn't see the actual...
That in itself is
wrong.
Is a problem. That
in
itself is a problem. But anyways, if you guys stay tuned, you would
get to be a part of our discussion eventually. We'll talk about this
topic. All right, so our next top story is Lagos Environment Commissioner's wife, Professor Ibiyemi Belu, now LASU VC.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Oh, congratulations. Exactly, congratulations. But then on this story, I think she happens to be the wife of the ex-secretary to the state governor on
environment,
former commissioner for environment, Mr. Tunji Bello. But then my point is, in the line of this conversation, okay. Now people came out to say she wasn't the best fit for the position.
Did they state why?
Because of some tribal reasons.
Really?
Now they said she's not from the West. Apparently she's not from Lagos, and you make her the vice chancellor of Yaba, right?
No, Lagos State University.
LASU, sorry. But then my point is, if she has all the qualifications,
and she's capable of fitting such role. Why do you have to
bring tribalism into this?
I think that in itself is how we are we are sort of a challenge or a problem to ourselves.
Okay.
Because if we can allow tribalism to come into play into something as little as Vice Chancellor.
No, not little anyway.
Not little anyway. Not little. I'm not belittling the position, but as important as
keen, exactly.
As key,
very important.
Because it's in the education sector, as key as VC to a state university. That means you can allow tribalism to go as far as presidency, military, police, and that in itself is a recipe for what's the word now? Do I say disorganization or a breakdown of an arranged structure?
An arranged structure, thank you. I agree with you. I do agree with you. Well, big congratulations to you, Mom. This one's, okay, she says she was born in April 23rd. That's basically her biography. We're not about to go all the way there.
All right, so the next top story says, God forbid that Goodluck Jonathan will join APC, Reno Omokri.
This story is very interesting.
I can see that the way you smile at it.
When you say, but then is it not striking that they have a way of the politics we play in this country has a way of just putting you in a position where you are forced to ask yourself. You might just take actions that now at some point we had questions for the. I didn't have questions. I was okay. But lots of people were not satisfied with the former leadership before the current one.
Yeah.
We're talking about the president, the ex-president, President Goodluck Jonathan. During his regime, people asked questions, and because of all the uncertainties, they said, okay, let's try a new government. And that was why we moved, collectively agreed and said we are moving to APC, right?
Okay.
Now, in a couple of months, APC now gave us the shocker. And we're like, are you sure we made the right decision?
We're still asking that question today.
Okay, we're still asking the question. Now, the point is, we're not trying to divert back. It's not even really about the party now.
Well, I think, for me, this is like a very tactical political move.
Very, very.
Because right now, the positions that, of course, we know that the major parties in Nigeria is APC and PDP.
Okay.
Then we have others. Then, first of all, PDP was the one in power immediately after our military regime when we went back to democracy. It was civilian rule. PDP were strongly the ruling
taking
party.
Hold of it,
And then there was a shift. It went to APC.
Now,
with the rumors of decamping here and there, and then 2023 candidates, possible candidates. Of course, we know that Atiku Abubakar has interest in running for.
Tinubu also stated his interest.
Tinubu also, but then we don't know if his health will allow him to. So I think like the next strategic, because I know you were telling me that this particular news, the APC said or stated,
APC secretary said they are welcoming the ex-president if he decides to decamp to the party.
So in other words, there's already a safe landing.
They already believe that we are welcoming you. Wow.
Once he decamps, there's a safe landing for him to come on board. And I also tell him that they can even give him the ticket. If you want to run, you can collect. We will give you, because if you listen to what people are saying, you understand that everyone is saying Jonathan's administration was somewhat easier or better than this present administration. I mean, in Jonathan's administration, you can run a protest and not get scared of being shot at.
I think there was more communication.
There was more communication. There was more freedom and more expression of the human rights in his administration. So I think that is the tactical reason why they will go up and make that statement. So in case he eventually decamps to APC, they're like, we already said we welcome him.
Yes. So
and if he runs for 2023,
definitely we are winning this.
You say we.
Such a strategy.
APC person.
No. I'm speaking on behalf of everybody because we don't question them. Of course, everyone would move in that light because that's what happened in the previous years. So, but then moving on, of course.
But anyway, it's still hearsay though. We don't know for sure if he has any. He hasn't made any statement or comment. All right. Our next top story, cult threat actually. Missing student sister planned disappearance, says Caleb Varsity.
Very brave.
What now?
Now, very brave move. This story, you would understand why I said very, very brave. So, police has been on the lookout for this very case because of how disturbing it's been. All over the news saying this kidnap or missing child had communications with his sister during the period when he wasn't available. And police investigations, I must commend the police investigations as well in Imota for making such progress. Okay, so they found out that the sister to the 21-year-old person who was declared missing. I think his name is Oluwanifemi. Oluwanifemi. That's the name, right? Okay, sorry. Okay. Now he was declared missing, and he was still in communications with his sister. So they were forced to investigate, and they found out that the both of them had plotted this whole thing.
Wow.
They saw the chat, and they were able to. I'm so sorry we didn't even get those screenshots. Well, it's what we had. It's the much we could deal with. But then they said there were screenshots of herself chatting with him where she instructed him to flee the school premises for a certain period of time. And she also said he should forget his phone. That is intentionally telling him to leave behind his phone and properties, packed up bags when leaving the premises. So I would wonder why they would do that.
The first question that is coming up in my mind is, did he kill someone?
Or no.
Did he rape someone?
No, it can't be. It couldn't possibly be the reason. If he did that, they will be looking for him.
Okay, so why is he missing?
Because he probably wants a ransom, or somebody would. Do you understand what the light?
It's beginning to sound like a student that watch Hollywood movie too much, and they try to practicalize what they see.
But then,
thinking
of course,
that
I've had situations like that before.
Really?
Yeah, I heard where people plan their own kidnaps. They single-handedly.
Those are people. As in, like adults.
They're adults, of course. People who are in the university are adults.
By the law, yes, but
I mean, a 21-year-old is old enough to do something like that.
Like vote and drive a car,
But then, of course, we thank God that the police have made progress with the investigation. I'm not so sure about that information yet, but they are making progress. I mean, if they have been able to find out that she has been in communication between 15th when he was declared missing and today, it means they are making progress. If you are in communication, it means you're somewhere and people can see you, or the person who is closer to you, the sister who happens to be close to him, is already knowing or finding out that this is where he is. If you're in communication with him, why tell us he's missing?
Then the other downside is, I just hope it's not like as if someone else is using his phone to text his sister while he himself is in trouble.
No, we're talking about before he left the school.
Before he left the school.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned what the chats read. Okay. Like, specifically, she said, leave your phone behind. They also saw one of the chats which makes his flee the premises.
His case is like an intentional decision.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Intentional stuff or intentional plot or something. All right.
So our next top story: how policemen rejected bribe offered by cultist Lagos PPRO.
Okay. Well, this happens to be a very controversial story because if they are, well, this is 500,000. I don't know about 50 million or 5 million or
5 billion.
Yeah. But then, of course, you can't just bring this to the news and tell us. Yeah. For me, I'm skeptical about this.
You're not going all out to
But let me just read this. Let me read this. The Public Relations Officer, Lagos State Command, CSP Adekunle Ajise, Ajise Butu, has narrated how men of command rejected a 500,000 naira bribe allegedly offered by suspected cultists.
Okay.
This was contained in a statement on Thursday titled "Armed Robbery Suspect Cultists Nabbed, Arms Ammunition Recovered." The PPRO said an anti-crime patrol team of the area J Command Elemoro arrested an armed robbery suspect and suspected cultists with a locally made double-barrel gun and 3 cartridges.
Wow.
But then, of course, they said on the 4th, he was arrested on the 4th, but recently, during a case review, he offered 500,000 naira so they could buy a court or find
him under the carpet.
But then, of course,
our abled
representative,
rejected the bribe.
Security representative said, we're not going to be a part. I wish we can continue to have more of this kind of news. We should also hear of 5 million. We should also hear of bigger
5
digits.
billion, you know.
Yeah, please.
We should also hear of police rejecting to style other Abi. we should Abi.
Busy. Now you see. Now you're coming out of your elements.
I'm still
now.
calm and collected.
Okay, whatever happens, we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll move on with our top stories. Stay with us. Welcome back. Of course, it's Hello Africa, brought to you by Black Drum TV. Just in case you're joining us right about now, you can be a part of our conversation as we are treating our top stories. Yeah, you can join in via the link in the description. You could also drop your comments and we'll treat as important as possible. We're dealing with our top stories. We've had a couple of them and we're just going to move on to other stories. I have BC Pelumi with me in the studio.
Thank you.
And my name is Favor Aya. But I like to be called Favorite. So this story says 1 million Nigerian children to miss school due to mass kidnappings, UNICEF says.
Well, the United Nations Children Fund in Nigeria have said that at least 1 million Nigerian children could miss school this year because of insecurity, as schools are no longer safe, or schools in the north rather, in the northern part of the country have been targeted by armed groups, bandits, and kidnappings, and also demanding ransom and all of that.
Yeah.
Already, schools in the north states have their academic calendar set back, and they're still trying to recover. And even their resumption has been postponed again without any, for obvious reasons, but that wasn't stated. And you know that the obvious reasons, for security.
Yeah, the security.
And World Bank estimates that a loss of $10 trillion in earnings over time for this present generation of students globally.
Now, the point is, for me, I feel like this is very disturbing to disturb the educational sector. But then, we should have been able to handle these situations, because this is what we keep saying about things that are obstructing the flow of the economical system. Those situations keep arising and stopping the normal routine we have. If 1 million students have to pause, what of the other kids? What would be the status of the both genders? Like, did I say gender? Okay, age grades.
Brackets.
So age brackets. So imagine I have a backlog in my educational flow, and a child of my age,
who is not in the north,
which is not in the north, has a more I don't know.
A more seamless flow of academic.
How is
I think it was one
balance?
of the things Atiku was saying in one of his statements that we read, where he advised the federal government of putting mobile security units at schools to guard schools that already the north are lagging behind in the education system. All right. Yeah. Now they are facing insecurity, pushing them further back after like years of maybe like 2-3% development. They're now being set back like by 10, 20, 15%. So it's like 3 steps forward, 10 steps back kind of situation for the north. So right now, I think the government needs to actually tackle, like I said, I keep saying, forcefully, precisely, tactically tackle kidnappings and insecurity in the north, especially those targeting schools.
Intentionally.
It should no longer be a dialogue, negotiation, amnesty kind of.
Going back and forth.
We're way past that now. These people are disturbing
the system
and the society. Society is not functioning properly as it should.
Yeah.
And children being the future of tomorrow, only God knows.
Now their future is post. Okay, this one says Mali youth back deployment of Russian fighters as France issues warnings.
Yeah, not just France. France and Germany, the former colonial countries of Mali, are issuing a warning that if Mali should go on, because Mali are in talks of hiring 1,000 mercenaries from Russia, from a private security group called Wagner. In the statement, they said if Wagner went to liberate Syria and liberate the central, if Wagner went to liberate Syria, if Wagner went to liberate the Central African Republic, then we welcome Wagner to Bamako to liberate Mali. But then Germany and France are saying, if you do this, it goes against, I think, their agreements or something like that. Yeah, that they don't want making such a deal goes against everything that Germany and France and have been doing in Mali for over the last 8 years.
Okay.
All right, so that's what their defense minister said. But my question is, why are the former colonial countries in the UN and also the EU against hiring mercenaries? Is it because the mercenaries are from Russia, or is it because they are mercenaries? Because I know that in Nigeria, I think it was during Jonathan's
Goodluck
administration, this Boko Haram issue and Chibok girls issue. Okay. I think we hired some, let's say, mercenaries of foreign military. I know they were from the US to help us, fight against terrorism. And it was, I think, it was a successful raid. But right now, that's what that story is about. We don't know why exactly. They just gave a reason that it goes against what their work in Mali for over the last 8 years is all about. So.
Yeah. Oh well, moving on to our next story. Whatever happens, we do hope that all the countries have an alignment, a proper alignment, and Mali is safe. Okay, Indonesian court rules president neglected to ensure clear air in capital. Indonesian court rules president neglected to
ensure clean air in the capital. The capital being Jakarta in Indonesia, right? So a court ruled on Thursday that their president, Joko Widodo, and 6 other top officials had neglected to fulfill citizens' rights to clean air and ordered them to improve the poor air quality in Jakarta, the capital, especially guaranteeing people's right to health by tightening air quality regulations.
Yeah,
so I think it's the regulations that's what I'm saying. From factories,
from factories, companies, industries, and all of that.
Ministries, to tighten the regulations to ensure that there's quality air in the capital for people to take in. But it's just
do
to
we
help
have
them
those
improve.
regulations here in Nigeria?
Sorry, say what?
Do we have those regulations? Because industries, because recently the ozone layer has suffered quite some damages because of all the activities of industries and
man.
Basically of man. So now, if there's a country that says I like the fact that
they are putting the quality of life of their citizens,
their lives at stake.
Yeah,
and they are putting it.
It's nice to see governments do that.
But here, I don't know.
Here where?
From our privately used generators and machines,
cars. Trucks.
We don't care. We see those very big trucks having
black exhaust,
very exhaust smoke. You see the smoke looking bad CO2. You should visit Port Harcourt and see what that city looks like. There's, I don't know, the entire city is black. Yeah. But then, of course, this one says British police rule out new probe into Diana interview.
Yeah, the probe is basically they're not going to further investigate a falsely coerced, evidence for any investigation. They're not going to do that. And the reason why is because in a report, it was concluded that Martin Basir, that's the reporter, had commissioned fake bank statements that falsely suggested some of late Princess Diana's closest aides were being paid by security services to keep tabs on her. Right? Okay. And he did that in order to secure an interview with her. It was that period where she was going through some issues in her marriage with, what's his name now? The Prince Charles.
Prince Charles, okay.
Prince Charles, yeah. And the reporter wanted an interview with her, so he used that to get a way to. And it was in that interview that Diana eventually spoke about troubled marriage, spoke about a lot of things actually. But then the Metropolitan Police said, and I quote, that not appropriate, that it has previously deemed not appropriate, they won't investigate claims of illegal activities and upheld after reviewing, their latest report. But one thing I think I like that Martin did was he eventually apologized, right? And then he stepped down from his role as BBC Religion editor before the report was published, citing ill health and all of that. But I think he made a statement that Diana wanted to speak out, so they cannot fault him for giving her, I think a voice or something like that to speak out. But he apologized for the whole manipulation and all of that.
Okay, moving on. Our story. The next one says blood pressure drug offers dementia. Dementia suffers new hope.
First of all, I think dementia patients would like to be called patients instead of sufferers. Experts suggested that amlodipine might one day be repurposed. Amlodipine is a blood pressure drug that people use, but it might be one day be repurposed to treat vascular dementia or stop it in the early stages after showing that it could increase blood flow in the brains of mice. So it's still like an experiment, still under research. It's like an experiment thing. So.
Oh well, okay. We'll take another break, and when we get back, we'll bring you our entertainment and BB Niger updates. Come back, and we just wrapped up our top stories, just in case you're joining us now. My name is Favor Aya, and I have BC with me in the house.
Thank you.
But we're moving on to our BB Niger update and entertainment news. If you just joined us, of course, you can be a part of our conversation via the link in the description. We still have our topic and sport update, and of course, our word facts. Our entertainment story this morning, the first one says, Turn to DK says ex Prince Pogri is planning Pogri for the name.
That's a mouthful.
Is planning to expose her nudes.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
How did he get them in the first place?
I do not want to.
Because if I am in a relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean my spouse should have my nudes. What are you using it for exactly? Does it give you any motivation whatsoever? I don't understand why. But then, if this is true, if it's true, I do feel it's a very terrible thing to do.
No, I think what is terrible is planning to expose her nudes.
Why would she even say that? Has he made mention of such, or I think
possibly? I mean, she says that he's planning to, so she must have heard, must have seen, must have known. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to know what issues you have.
Yeah.
The fact that someone, a partner or a spouse, trusts you enough to send them their nudes to you, I think you should respect that fact that it's a matter of trust, and that you don't go around showing people. You don't go around exposing it on social media. It is cowardly and it is disrespectful to the body of the person. Wait, what do you mean by accept otherwise?
Because sometimes some people like their nudity to be all out.
No, if she's the one exposing her nudity, it's a different case. Okay, I understand that. But if someone sends you their nudes, exposing it on any form, showing your close friend is even wrong.
Oh well, I just hope it's a joke. But then, of course, I think it's a violation of her own rights too.
Exactly.
And if he does that,
it's a breach in agreement, because both of them must have agreed that, it's between two of them, unless they didn't do that. So.
Oh well. Moving on to our next story. This one says, where them they see this money, Nigerians react as singer Jemo Piper splurges millions on customized car.
Okay.
Chevrolet looking
Camaro.
good. Camaro looking good on him. But then he's working hard. So, I mean, he deserves himself, or he owes himself the good life. Yep. So the question should just
make a toast to the good life.
Congrats, bro. Okay, next one says, when you hustle for you. Simi finally speaks after being called out for abandoning man who helped her. I'm lost.
Okay.
I'm lost.
Next entertainment story.
After being called out for abandoning man who helped her.
Helped her how? Like put her into the limelight, or linked her up with a record
Maybe she
label?
was a village girl before and he brought her to the city. That's quite some help.
That sounds like some Nollywood kind of thing.
Yeah.
This one says, Wizkid spotted stepping out of club with unknown lady in trending video. Many wonder if she's his baby mama. Why would no one wonder?
Why do you always have to wonder? Can't you just see?
Can't let him enjoy?
I mean,
he's a single father. It's not easy. Proceed.
Once you're in the faces of people or a public figure, people are always looking out for you and whatever you're doing. But nevertheless, just cut down on this kind of statements you make so you don't put someone in depression or something. Okay, moving on. Wizkid, the guy Drake and Beyonce would call up whenever they need a hit. US magazine showers encomium on singer. It's deserved. Now we're moving. We're so proud of you, Wizkid.
Wizkid.
One love, yeah, one love. I mean, but then of course this story, GQ happens to be like the magazine company that was having this interview, and then in the interview they specifically gave notable efforts that the singer Wizkid Ayo has put in his work. And I mean, if you have put in that much effort, it's only normal that people appreciate you and show you as much love and support as you deserve. Okay, moving on to our BB Niger update. Our first one says Maria tells her fans to stop asking her about Pere. She is in a relationship. Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Good to know.
Good, but then is Pere the same? Is Pere saying the same? Because Pere is in the house.
Pere is in the house.
Wishing he was with her.
General Pere without
But then if she says she's in a relationship and whatever happened between herself and Pere was just a phase and the game,
well, let Pere come
we
out
should
first,
respect it.
We should see.
No, let's just respect it already. She has made a decision. She's out. I don't think there's anything she's trying to. If she was in support, even as she's out, she would be giving her support to him. Yeah.
True. All right, this one says, I will soon give up on Leko Rose. Emmanuel tells Cross. Okay, I think this was about the secret task that Big Brother gave Saga and Nini, and also Leko Rose and... Okay, I think it was just Saga.
Yeah.
Big Brother gave Saga and gave Leko Rose. Okay. So the task is they were supposed to form a beef or a fight or a petty fight between their love interest and the house. Okay. All right. Saga, on the other hand, we'll get to that. Leko Rose played the game well. She won, and Big Brother, gave them a dinner at the executive lounge in the house where things went down. But it was good.
I like that. Things went down.
No major things anyway.
Well, moving on. Angel's mother reacts after her daughter showed her property to the world.
Dun, 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 dun. It was a part. I do not want to talk about this.
I want to.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I would like to read out what the mom said. This was a post on social media from her mom. It says, she's telling you people the truth of how probably I almost lost my life early this year, and some of you are here saying it's a strategy or cheap blackmail. Angel likes to cruise, we agree, but you people should just listen to her story and not judge. I understand that you all are angry with her for her behavior yesterday and apologize on her behalf. Please, let's support her and encourage her by voting. Be strong, my love. You have lots of love that are looking up to you. Have lots of people that are looking up to you and blah, 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 blah. I love all your flowers. I love you, my sunshine. But the point is, I don't know, is the mom... Well, if you were to be in a reality TV show, we want to see you, we want to see what you do in your space. So apparently we're seeing what she does in her space.
But how does that connect to exactly what our mom is saying right now?
This
is why I said I didn't want to talk about it, because I knew I was going to come and say it.
No, I'm trying to dodge the area you are trying to go to.
That's why I said we should not, but we have entered it now, so we'll face the music.
All right, now listen. For me, I feel like the mom is making this known to people. It was a moment for her. People were concerned about
the part of her that she revealed or that she put up.
Well, it was just maybe a mistake or something. Did she intentionally?
Yeah, the facts. The week she got announced that she's facing a possible eviction. Okay. Was the same week that video dropped. I think it was even the next day or so. Okay. That scene popped up. All right, and she's been. I watched some episodes, and I've seen how she's moving in the house.
So would you call it cheap strategy?
As much as for lack of a better word, yes, I would call it cheap strategy.
Would you have had a better one if you were there? Oh.
I probably would have, because Angel is actually one of the strong housemates.
Yeah, she is.
So
but then she's fighting now because she's not so sure what her fan base is like. And she's giving you content. That's what the game is about.
Oh, it's content now. Then it's fine. If I'm calling it content, it's fine.
For me,
check
it's
me.
content.
Oh, for you, it's content.
Yeah, for me, it's content.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
It's content. Okay, this one says Biggie punishes Saga Nini for failing secret task.
Yeah, because Biggie specifically instructed that task should not be. Saga wasn't supposed to tell anyone, not even Nini.
Okay.
But immediately he came out of the diary room. Where did Saga go to?
Nini.
And what did Saga do?
Told her. And I love that punishment. Did you see the lounge? The entire space was messed up and they were to go clean it at different times, not together. Not because they might just go there and just start doing another thing. So go in, do your own 1 hour, clean this. Man, that place was a mess.
Yep.
It was completely.
Kudos, shout out to Biggie for doing
Biggie
for being
for taking good disciplinary measures.
I'm telling you, because hold your mouth, keep quiet, don't tell anybody, just come
out.
Ah.
Moving on, still on
Nini.
This Saga and Nini. Saga, you are. I don't know if you are representing. Anyway.
Thank God he said anyway.
Let's just move. If Nini is issued a strike, I'll take it. Okay.
I have seen Lover Boys
now
in Big Brother Niger. I have seen Ozo. I have seen Miracle.
We've seen guys.
We've seen guys that were in love. This is another level. This is it's no longer love. It's starting to look like an insecure obsession.
Do you know the saying, "Who go love me by"?
Don't love me like this, oh. Don't love me like this.
If someone wants to take a strike, I'll catch a grenade for you. But then
you notice that in that video, he did not for once catch a grenade.
Yes.
He was just pulling a piano in the video.
Man, Saga, you need to relax on.
Saga, take a chill pill.
Yeah,
you need to re-strategize and understand what you're there for. You're there for the money, man. What are you doing?
It's okay. Don't sound like you could help him fix this. All right. That is it for our BB Niger and entertainment update. We'll take a break, and when we get back, I'll leave you with BC as he brings you sport updates.
Welcome back to Hello Africa. It's time for our sports segment, and I will be running through our sport updates, after which I'll introduce you to our topic for the day, and we'll have a conversation, and then we'll move on to our weird facts. All right, so our first story, Castleford coach Daryl Powell bracing himself for emotional night. Powell announced at the start of 2021 that he will be ending his 8-year stay at the Tigers to join the Wolves, and says he anticipated a season-long rivalry between his current and future employers that will culminate in a win or bust clash at the Jungle on Thursday night. Victory will secure a playoff spot and, ironically, a trip to Warrington next Friday, but defeat will signal the end. Defeat will signal the end of the season and Powell's time with his hometown club, as well as gifting both Hull, KR, and Leeds places in the top 6 ahead of Friday's meeting at Headingley. Peter Canavan, I am immensely proud to be a Tyrone man. Sky Sports analyst Peter Canavan reflects on Tyrone's win over Mayo to become All-Ireland champions for the 4th time in their history. He pays tribute to Fargal, Logan, and Brian Doha, compares the victory to 2003 and 2005, and looks at where the result leaves both teams. Belmont out after 65-run stand with Knight. England women beat New Zealand women by 30 runs in the first one-day international at Bristol. Captain Heather Knight top scored with 89 as the host posted 241 before the White Ferns were bowled out for 211 in reply. Early wickets from Nat Skiver and Kate Cross reduced the White Ferns to 31-3 in reply, and when the latter dismissed Sophie Devine to end a 78-run partnership with Amy Sathawati, the tourist quickly faded. England to host annual Women's International Tournament. England will host a new invitational 4-nation tournament each year starting in February 2022. The Football Association has announced the Lionesses will be joined by Germany and Spain in the inaugural event, with the 4th team still to be confirmed. The tournament, which has been created, will be delivered by long-term FA partner Pitch International, a London-based sports marketing agency, through to at least 2025. Goretzka extends Bayern deal until 2026. FC Bayern have extended the contracts of Leon Goretzka, which was originally due to run until June 2022 to 2026. And that's a wrap on our sports segment. Stay with us as we go into our topic for the day and bring you our weird facts. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Hello Africa, and it's time for our topic for the day. A very interesting one. I think we touched it on our top story, and with me, of course, is Favor Aya, who likes to be called Favorite.
Aya, Favor.
Favor Aya, like higher or like?
No, Aya.
Aya. Okay. Who likes to be called Favorite? And our topic for today: EFCC chairman slumps, and we're asking the question: where is the medical response?
Good.
I think we have a video on this that will be coming up on your screen now. So it was the video of the EFCC chairman, Abdulrasheed, Abdulrahim, that's his name.
Yeah.
Where he was giving a speech and had that medical, let's say emergency or a little bit of challenge.
No, just a challenge.
Just a little bit of challenge.
Health challenge.
All right, let's see the video. I think he was giving a speech here, and
now the thing with this was, at some point I was forced to wonder if you were not probably ready for the occasion, you probably shouldn't have come up. That's one.
Okay.
But now we are talking about the medical response.
Exactly, because from the video you can see
that
there was no medical personnel there.
Yeah, the response was just looking so very inappropriate. It should be rushing towards him. Who would know
what to do?
And would know what to do.
The things to administer to him to like resuscitate him. They're not there. Everybody just here, especially this security personnel who comes in like, what are you coming to check?
You should be bringing, creating probably a pathway for a quick response
from a medical
aid team.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the question, why do people not take these very measures very keen? Why are they not particular about this? Because if health situations arose in a particular setting where there are a good number of people in your banks, in your offices, there should be a good, proper response team, medical team. If there is no first aid, at least the kits.
A first aid box.
Enough is enough with it. And we have, I want to talk about this because there was, in the office I used to work for initially, there were times when we had medical emergencies and we had no equipment to react to it. So imagine you had an injury that needed urgent attention, and you had to run all the way to a medical facility to be able to get the quickest aid.
Run back.
It's not very necessary. It's not. It's only compulsory and decent that we have those medical aids around us.
And what's even sad about this is like it's starting to become a sort of culture in our country.
Yeah.
Because when you see people have accidents on the road, other pedestrians or other civilians will go there and gather around the victim.
Yes.
And then start either taking videos
so many
or
things at the same time.
The first thing they usually say is pouring water or that.
What exactly is the...
We have an emergency line.
You said the first thing they usually say is pouring water.
Serious. That's like the first thing I see anybody in every situation. Every situation.
You don't know,
car accident, attack, asthmatic attack, slump, fainting, hunger,
food, arthritis, anything.
Food. And it's usually in Yoruba, domiciliary.
Please just get water, What exactly is it with?
You don't even know what led up to that person passing out, or what led to that person being unconscious.
Your first aid is water, pouring of water.
And sometimes it's cold water.
But then, of course, you can tell us what do you think about this. Drop your comments and we'll just treat them urgently or we'll treat them with immediate effect. But then I want to ask this question. So is it okay for banks, offices to have these medical, is it okay for every sector to have a medical segment? That is, if I go into every office, there should be a mini room for like, what they call them now, sick bay.
Not necessarily a sick bay, but like have a first aid box.
Okay, but then some should even go the extra mile of having like an office that has at
an
least
in-house,
maybe like 500 staff.
Or 500 staff.
Yeah, if you go to an office that has about 500 staff.
Okay, yes, there's definitely there should be a proper sick bay and places because sometimes it might not even be anything, it might just be stress, and they need some pain relief to just like take pop to
ease
pills
some of the stress.
To ease some of the stress, or sometimes you just need to sleep and wake back up and then move
and get yourself.
But because companies don't put up all of these things. Okay. Some companies, okay, because some other companies do actually. Some companies don't put all of these things into consideration. They just want to use people, work people to death, and then...
It's a very disturbing thing,
Very,
I just feel like, okay, now, for example, this situation, in the whole of this hall, the people who ran to him first...
Were the people listening to his speech.
Were the people listening to his speech. And at this point, we are dealing with COVID. We're dealing with so many health hazards. So, COVID... protocols were broken. And these are people who associate, they have contacts with people daily. And
they travel a lot, some of them to these highly infectious states.
Yes, so it is only not, it is the most in appropriate time for them to even rush. And you see the way they clouded this person in the video, and they were doing, I don't know exactly whether they were touching him.
When they all run to the site of to the epicenter of the emergency, they don't usually do anything other than start checking, touching
unnecessary parts of the body.
What do you know you are checking for?
No,
you're not a doctor, you're not a nurse. What are you checking for? What are you touching?
Do you remember the time we had this very situation? And this is very common with the people who should be showing us the right path. This is very common with our leaders. In this very meeting with the NDDC, do you remember when he also
don't fail to.
Okay. When he also had an attack in conference, and then
he passed out.
I don't even know what that looks like, but if in actual sense that was an attack. Did you see someone trying to force his mouth?
There was no medical response there. It was still the same people that was there.
For the next 3 minutes, the view wasn't even necessary. I like the fact that the journalists and media teams, they didn't even turn off the camera.
They just like,
they didn't turn off the camera. They kept on focus, and then we were seeing them literally try to tear his mouth open. Was he having, I don't know which attack or which medical response is it that you get to use your fist
and like try and force.
Amidst COVID, you went in with your bare hands,
forcing the
mouth open. What kind of response is that on a medical?
I'm sure it's not CPR. That's not what CPR looks like.
CPR tried to tear off. I don't know what exactly that was, and then
luckily he
But do you know he gave a look at this person?
One of the people are like I said I'm fainting. You want to punch me? What's wrong with you?
You're trying to tear my mouth open, and this is the response.
I'm fainting. Now leave me alone.
That's not what you should be doing, bro.
Hello.
Get your So sorry about
apologies.
This, but then this is a very...
It's as I don't say sad, as unfortunate as it is.
Yeah.
It's actually still quite funny.
Very
because
inappropriate.
We already have toll-free emergency lines, 112-767. Call these numbers. There was a time I was coming on the road and I witnessed a hit and run.
Yeah.
Right. A car. So a lady had crossed to the middle of the road, about to cross the other side of oncoming vehicles. Yeah. So there was a public bus. Okay. Right. Yeah. And a Toyota Camry Big Daddy model was overtaking. This is why I can remember the models because it's still vivid in my mind. Yes. The Camry was overtaking the bus. Okay. The bus slowed down for the girl to cross, a schoolgirl, for the girl to cross. He waited for the girl to cross. But unknown to the car driver who was overtaking, he was just starting to overtake the bus. The girl had crossed the front of the bus and, immediately came into the front of the speeding, the accelerating Camry. That, just hit her and then drove off.
Whoa.
Drove off. And of course, people, mothers and every other person started screaming, hey, and then dragged her to the side of the road, and of course asked for water and some other things, and started shouting, which is the regular thing to do. Too. And I was in the car on the other side, and our vehicle was going. All right, so immediately I witnessed that. I picked up my phone. I called. I think it was 7671112.
Now that's a patriot we're talking about here.
I called that, and I know that there's a general hospital at Igondo because it happened at Egbeda.
Very smart.
So I told them, if you're coming from General Hospital from Igondo, they're going to be on the left-hand side of the road because they're not going to follow one way. But if they're coming from anywhere from Ikwaja and Akwaja, they're going to be on the right hand. They're going to be on the lane.
These names are not familiar with our view as well.
Okay, on the mainland.
But then, of course.
The challenge I now had is the operator on the emergency line started asking me where I am, as in me, where am I? How do I know the victim?
That's the point. Now, I've had to, that's what we're dealing with now. I don't know. We're going to take a break and check out the comments we have already, and then we'll also get back to, I like the fact that you mentioned this thing, but then after the break, we'll come back to it. Of course, we are still treating this very interesting situation we've had over.
I like how you said situation.
Very, very interesting situation of the EFCC chairman who slumped during his speech, and the immediate response we got from our proper and well-kitted medics who showed up immediately. This happened in Agbada and kaftans and police uniforms. We do give you so much credit.
You saved a life.
You saved a life.
Just in the wrong way.
Of course, my name is Favor Ayan. I have BC in the house.
Hello.
Okay, so we have a couple of comments we're going to really address now. Someone said, I would leave BC to do this.
All right, so let me read. This one came in on WhatsApp. This person said, Taiwo said, just sack all of them, they are beg. Make everybody rest.
Yes, I agree with you, Taiwo. Because do you even understand why you are there? Because if someone had an attack and you're not even smart enough to take the fastest actions, then what can you deal with?
I think his PA should be questioned.
All right? Yeah,
because he should have his, if not his own personal medical team.
No, he's not that big.
You should have, you should at least have an emergency medical response team around where you are communicating
where this is happening.
Where this is happening. Because if you're going to another location, okay, for example, in events, I know it's not close, but in events planning, if we're doing events for like people...
It's close. We're talking about all sectors.
For people in the age of 80 and above, perhaps a birthday or a party, we usually know that, okay, these people are already on that mark that's anytime, any day.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So we factor in, let there be an ambulance nearby to attend to them. So that in case one of them should like have heart attack or an accident, minor accident that can be major, there's someone on site to attend to them.
Yeah.
All right? And we usually factor this in the budget and then, of course, give to the client. But this is on a federal level. You should at least have information of medical team in that area where this event is happening. Yes. So that in any case, just of this kind of emergency, you're already on the case. You put a phone call through, and then so just before the break, we're talking about a toll-free emergency line and the response that I got.
You got, yes.
You're about to make a response. I think you say you've experienced the same thing or something.
Yes,
like
okay, so I was going to tell you. So I had, it was a night trip. I was on my way home very late at night due to traffic. It was about past 12, 1 a.m.
Oh, that's not a night trip. That's an early morning trip.
No, okay, it was already an early morning trip. But then, the point is, I came into Lagos from a long trip, and then I experienced a bike collision. 2 bikes. Now, 4 victims, 2 bikes, and on both bikes, they had like 2 passengers
each.
Now, both the rider and 1 passenger. Now, these guys were lying in the pool of their blood. About 3 of them were badly bruised and injured. Now, the point is, people were overtaking them.
Just like driving to the side.
Yes, like I'm minding my business.
I'm going.
Let me just go.
I'm not going to get involved.
Now, I stopped. The immediate action I took was to bring out my spare tire because I had, of course, incoming cars. And at that time of the night, because it's an express, people are driving
at top speed.
So I had to put my the triangle
the caution
reflector. Now I had to put it, but it wasn't enough because that caution was so small. My small car, of course. And I had to put it somewhere quite far from where the scene happened so that they can start slowing down from afar. And then I also brought out my spare tire to aid this same thing. I also moved meters away. Now, after doing this, I had to stop. I was stopping to see who else could join me in help. And then I put a call across to the police station that was closest to me there at that point. This was happening in Abuja. Yeah, just before the Abuja bridge, coming from Songotedo area.
Okay.
Now, the point is, when I put the call across, I wasn't getting any response.
It was just ringing?
Yeah, it was just ringing. Wow. So I was...
Just so we're clear, you called the police.
Exactly.
In that area.
In that area.
In an emergency situation.
Yes, exactly.
And their phone was just ringing.
And this particular number, I had it because I'd been in an emergency scene, an accident scene at that same area, because that's my area.
Okay.
So I live in an estate close to the police station. So when accidents happen, they give us, those of us who are the first-hand people to reach there, they like to give us their numbers so that if anything happens in that area, we can easily go back there. So I called this man, and he wasn't picking up. And then I drove to the police station. Honestly, I took a bike from there, another bike, who came and saw that these guys were Hausa guys, of course, obviously. And then he said, okay, let's quickly get to the station. And like 1 or 2 persons had stopped. So we said, let's go and use mouth, of course, word of mouth, to tell them, please, there's an emergency. Guess what? On getting to the police station, this very guy I was calling, because I knew him. I knew him. This very guy is in charge of the emergency response team. He was there. He was there.
What was the excuse he gave?
No, hold on. Now, he was just lackadaisically coming out from, I don't know where, maybe he went to take a pee or something, but I don't know. But then he was coming out. And this very thing you said about where were you when this happened. So there were some officers, lady officers who were there. And that was the question they asked me. As a matter of fact, the only defining factor that helped me escape whatever they were going to say was my press tag. So they were already coming at me with very harsh tones. How did you know? Why were you there? Did you see it? What happened? What did you do when you saw it? Looking like I instigated the accident.
Oh God, people are still lying.
Why are we like that? Exactly. So at this point, that was exactly why I had to raise my own tone back at them. I was like, what do you mean? I'm trying to report a case to you. And I was like, okay, here's my press tag. And that is why I can walk up to you and tell you this is what I do. And that was why I could come here, because this was the exact reason nobody was stopping to give first aid to these people.
The treatment people will receive from the police.
Yes.
Because even when I made that call I was talking about, I was beginning to feel harassed. Like the questions they were asking, was this my phone number?
Okay.
Do I know the person?
Okay.
And we've seen situations, it's sad I'm using it to compare with, but we've seen Hollywood movies where they dial 911 and the first question is, what's your emergency?
What's your emergency, yeah.
Do you understand? And then the person goes on and say, this is our emergency. They don't even ask, the highest they ask is where you're calling from, so that they can be able to pinpoint the location of where the emergency is.
Do you understand?
But anyways, guys, keep sending your comments in. I think we should still take this to the streets.
Yes, we should take this to the streets.
Exactly, and ask people how, what they think can be done in case of emergencies.
We could also give you some tips. Yeah, if you are in a structured environment, advise your superiors, or if you are the superior watching us right now, please have a proper medic team in your office, in your store. Have a first aid box in your store. If it's a business environment, have a sick bay or something where your staff could use.
If you can't afford to have a space, partner with pharmacies.
Yes,
you know that they are certified pharmacists, certified hospitals. Okay. Partner with them, let them come in as in.
Yes.
Even if it's like once a quarter, let them train your staffs on administering first aid to each other, so it doesn't escalate into
and of course also have numbers. We're also going to provide that before the end of the show. Of course, we'll give you emergency numbers. If you are in Lagos, of course, fortunately we have access to that. We'll give you out those numbers so that you can be able to call those numbers and state your emergency. It's very important that every citizen of this city or wherever you are, you should have an emergency number of a response team that could be able to show up at any point when there's an emergency. But then, like we said, always have first aid and have quick response team in your vicinity, in your space, so that situations like this do not reoccur. Well, I think we should bring it to an end with our topic.
Yeah, and we'll dive straight into our
weird facts.
Okay.
Today happens to be Friday, so we have quite a number of them, but then we'll go with them. So, BC, what's our first one?
Okay, so our first one says, one human can feed 1 million mosquitoes. A human's body has enough blood to feed 1.2 to 1.8 million mosquitoes.
Oh, well.
Wow, one human being. Just one.
Interesting. Okay, this one says, people lie. Oh, wow. You can see the comment. You can see the comment response from the guy in the tune. In the picture says, "Darling, this dress suits you perfectly. Honestly, people lie more. Why is it that is the guy who is making the comment? Ladies,
why is it that he's the guy?
Why is it the guy?
Why is the guy that is the
I don't understand. They say people lie more convincingly when they have to go to the bathroom.
I suspect this. It's not weird.
It depends on what you are going to do in the bathroom. If it's 1 or 2.
But either way, if your best lie will come out. That's what they're telling us.
Yeah, they are trying to make us understand that you lie.
Ooh, okay. When kissing,
see the way you're rushing. see, look at your courage in reading this. Your whole body.
If you're right, I am
calm. Go on.
I am calm and collected today.
You're calm, obviously. This is your calm.
Yes, this is. When kissing, most people bend their heads to one side. 70% of people bend their heads to the right when kissing. Who they look the people where they kiss, where they count 70% or 80%?
The right. I don't know.
Right or left?
Right.
Bro, left. If you're a scientist doing that, bro, go and find a girlfriend.
Is it that it's more comfortable when you go through the right?
I think maybe because most people are right-handed.
What happens is that there's more locking of today's Friday.
Analysis.
I think this is what you analyze.
I
would like to find out.
Find out. Oh, it's very interesting.
No, don't put this on me. You are the one who jumped so on.
No. You said you would like to find out. Me, I don't need to find out. Me, I know.
Oh, you do?
Me, I know.
Wow.
But for
so
you,
are you left or right?
That's not what I mean by I know.
No, you said you know. Tell us, are you left or right? They said those who...
I'm more of a response kind of person.
Okay, if she goes right, you go right.
No, if I go, she goes right, I go left.
Oh, wow. Okay, moving on. This one says, the higher your IQ is, the more interesting your dreams are.
This picture is very wicked.
Can you imagine?
IQ of 90, they show donkey, tall donkey.
Okay.
IQ of 130, unicorn.
So that means her IQ is high. That's why she climbed the donkey.
Okay, so that means her brain can process colors and other images.
Now the dream is more colorful. Okay.
All right. So this one says the ability to hear worsens after having a good lunch.
You know the year what?
After I don't chop heavy food.
Oh, so quick with that. You probably don't hear properly when you have eaten.
Okay. Okay. I will pay attention to that and try and discover, especially if it's a very heavy meal.
Very weird fact. Very, very weird.
All right. Children grow faster in spring.
I'm
this
lost.
Is way too fast.
This is very fast. I mean, the child has beard already. Standing up to his mom like a father.
This is already a working class adult.
This is a full-time father. This picture doesn't really tell good.
At all.
But then, of course, kudos to... Okay, this one says, the secret to honey's easy digestibility. The reason why honey is well digested by the human body lies in the fact that bees have already digested it. I don't understand.
Wait,
lost.
hold up. I'm eating bee vomit?
Like bee digested the wastes.
No, it might be trop.
Okay. They already digested it, so it's quicker to digest in the human.
I've accepted that. They've digested it. My question is, after digesting, we know that digestion occurs inside.
Yes.
After
digestion now.
No, bee digestion to occur inside.
Okay.
Our own digestion to occur inside.
Okay.
Their own that have occurred inside, how did it come out back?
Yes.
That we're drinking it.
So is it the waste?
Or is it the drop?
Or we don't understand.
I mean, they sweat it out.
This is weird.
Very weird. And see, let's not be doing weird facts about honey and foods again that people eat.
Don't worry. Okay, this one says, the secret to honey... Oh,
no. This one says, females are brainier. While the male brain is bigger in size, females show about 3% better results in intelligence tests.
No. What do you mean? Females are brainier. While the male brain is bigger in size, females show about 3% better results in intelligence tests. Who said so? Look at the way the boy is even confused. Just look at this girl, and she's smiling.
The reason why this picture is so
the
reason why this weird fact and picture
this
is so
gender
wrong.
Inequality.
Aside from that, two things. Number one, this kid is Asian.
Okay, what do you mean?
Asians at age 3.
Yes.
Already playing with Rubik's Cube, like 4 or 5.
Do you understand? At the same time,
they will solve. As in, they will use Rubik's Cube to draw. That's another level.
He's solving 3 at the same time.
At the same 4.
4. And the lady is only doing 1. And you
are saying that she's smarter.
We disagree. There's nothing weird about this.
At all.
In fact, it's weird that you are even making that kind of statement.
Please read the next one.
Oh no. BC.
No, you read. I read the first one. No, I'm pleading the 5th. I plead the 5th. You read this one, please.
Okay. I'm not going to look at the picture. I'm just going to read it.
How are you going to read it without looking at the picture?
I'm just going to read it. It says.
Good luck with that.
It says. It says, breasts are not the same on every person.
Take it again. You're struggling.
No,
you're struggling. Take
I'm
it again.
sure you heard me clearly. Breasts are not the same on every person. An extremely small amount of women in the world have the same size of breasts. Since usually one is larger than the other, no part of the human body is perfectly symmetrical.
Okay, noted.
How do we confirm this?
I think we should run our own personal
research. No. What do you mean by personal research?
We conduct a survey.
Do you have a device that weighs or measures? Okay, moving on. Moving on, okay. You didn't see that. Oh, wow, okay. This can be our last, but then, unfortunately, it's our last. It's our last too.
Last weird fact, yeah.
BC has showed us the very quickest equipment to measure this very last weird fact.
The very last weird
Such a good way to end the show today.
All right. Thank you all for joining us on today's episode of TGIF Hello Africa. It's been wonderful. It's been fun. Bringing the top stories, the sports, maybe Nigeria updates, you know, the entertainment, and even the weird facts and the important topic we discussed. Sharing it with you, our audience, and our viewers, and sending in your comments as well. Thank you all for joining us. See you all in the next episode. I'm a DBC member. I like to be called BC. Stay safe and wear a nose mask.
Okay, it's a wonderful weekend already, and we are about to head out. Yes, I promised myself this weekend is going to be awesome. I'm going to give myself a good rest and a good life. You can tell I have stress all over me, but then I'm going to have a nice time over the weekend, and I do hope you also have a wonderful weekend. Go out, attend weddings, attend parties, and drink wisely.
Responsibly.
Drink responsibly. I like to be called Favorite, but my name is Favor. I have a lovely day.